बहुत से ऐसे रोहनी लोग हैं जो पेशवा बने हुए हैं, मुर्शिद बने हुए हैं, टीचर बने हुए हैं और मुंह बोले, और उनके पास कुछ लोग जाते हैं, नए लोग, तो कुछ तजर्बात भी उनको हो जाते हैं। तो और जो सच्चे लोग हैं सका जो वो बहुत कम है और बहुत कम मिलते हैं और दूर दराज। तो जो नए लोग इस लाइन में आते हैं उनको भी कैसे शनाख्त हो, सच्चा कौन, झूठा कौन, और कैसे वो मार खाने से बचे।
चोर को चोर पहचानता है, इसी तरह नूर को नूर पहचानता है।
Just like a thief recognizes a thief, in the same way light recognizes light.
जब तेरे अंदर नूर आ जाएगा ना, तो फिर नूर के सामने जाएगा ना तो ये तेज हो जाएगा, समझ जाएगा वो।
बस Shah was saying that when that light of God comes inside you, when you will go before a person who, for example, claims to be a spiritual guide or whatever, then if that person has light inside them, then the light will bounce off the light and your heartbeat will go very fast. That's the only way. Light recognizes the light. And the point being made is that you have to create the light inside. You have to find out how that light is created. And this is how it's done, by inner chanting.
So we will experience like a quickening.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And so there will be an automatic outflowing of devotion.
Yeah. Not just devotion, you'll physically and spiritually feel your chest pounding. The heartbeat will go very fast because you will send out light signal, you will receive a light signal, and because of the energy that will be there, it will go very fast.
Well, I would also think that if you have found a real teacher, when the teacher goes away or elsewhere, or you go away or elsewhere, this light will continue with you. It won't just go up, poof.
Sure.
You know, so it'd be something that would last and not
exactly.
just.
जैसा ये पूछ रही हूँ और कह रही हूँ कि मैं ये समझती हूँ कि जब वो लाइट आपके अंदर आ जाए और आपको सच्चा जो रूहानी मुर्शिद मिल जाए, मैं समझती हूँ सिर्फ उनकी सोबत में बैठने से नहीं, जब वो दूर हो किसी इलाके में और आप भी उनसे बहुत दूर हो, वो लाइट का रिश्ता और कनेक्शन फिर भी मौजूद होता है, या उसको होना चाहिए,
याद करने से होता है।
That is the way, and it is maintained through remembrance.
So is it then not true that everyone that has God within them becomes our spiritual teacher, and that God can speak to us not only through our own heart, but through the hearts of everyone that we come in touch with that also has God in their heart?
जैसा पूछ रही क्या ऐसा नहीं है कि जिन लोगों के अंदर नूर आ जाता है तो वो एक मुर्शिद की शक्ल इख्तियार कर लेते हैं, बस कर ले 10 लोगों के अंदर नूर आ गया, अल्लाह उनके अंदर आ गया, पर वो 10 ही उनसे मिल सकती हैं, इनमें मुर्शिद ना हो, लेकिन जो आम लोग हो जिनके अंदर थोड़ा सा नूर आ गया,
थोड़े से नूर से जो थोड़ी मकाम हासिल करेंगे, ज़्यादा हासिल नहीं कर सकेंगे।
And the answer to that question is that, for example, if you have 10 people, they all have the light of God inside them or have God inside them. There are two different things which I may add here. The light of God is something else, and God Himself is something else. Those people that only have the light of God inside them, and you receive benevolence from them or receive some instruction from them, then Shah Sahib is saying that there's only a limited amount of benevolence or spiritualism that you will receive from them. You may not progress towards God or achieve everything on that path.
But it may nevertheless help you advance towards.
Right. In the case of a person having God inside them or having just the light.
Just the light, even.
Right.
Is that like a beacon? You know, I mean, to direct us perhaps towards God. You know.
पूछ रहे हैं अगर वो लोग जिनके अंदर अल्लाह नहीं है लेकिन सिर्फ थोड़ा सा नूर आ गए, उनकी सोबत में बैठने से भी फायदा होता है, तरक्की होती है. Yes, you do receive some benefit from sitting in the company of people who just have light inside them also. But I think one thing is just coming to my mind.
ज़्यादा बेहतर वो लोग होते हैं जो अल्लाह के दीदार में होते हैं, जिनको अल्लाह देखते हैं, वो अल्लाह को देखते हैं, अल्लाह उनको देखता है, वो ज़्यादा बेहतर होते हैं.
We're just going to ask this question that Shah Sahib answered. Shah Sahib was saying that the best people are those that are loved by God, who see God and God sees those people. That's the difference between having God inside them and having the light inside them.
जब वो दुनिया में बैठे होते हैं ना, अगर अल्लाह उनको देख लेना, तो एक दफ़ा वो देखता है ना, तो सात बड़े गुनाह जो है ना, वो जल जाते हैं.
The example they give of that person is that person who sees God, and that person that God sees, he may be sitting in this world, and then those people that sit in his company, at that moment in time, God may then just decide to look at that person. Just that by one look of God, one glance, each and every person who may have committed 7 major sins, by just with that one glance, all those people sitting in the company of that person, the spiritual guide, 7 major sins are burnt away.
दिन में पता नहीं कितनी बार देखी उसको.
And nobody knows that how many times God may look at that person.
यही वजह है उन लोगों के पास लोग बैठे रहते हैं ना, उनके गुनाह जलते रहते हैं.
So this is the reason that those people that have God inside them, and those people that God looks at many times during the day, others who sit in their company, they find such peace and satisfaction, and their misdeeds and all the badness and darkness and evil that is created inside slowly and steadily and surely passes away and fades away.
तब मौलाना रूमी ने कहा ना कि वली की एक लम्हा की सोबत 100 साल की इबादत से बेहतर.
This is why Maulana Rumi said that sitting in the company of a friend of God, one moment is better than 100 years of worship.
हो सकता है कि 100 साल की इबादत से उसका गुनाह ना माफ हो और उसके बैठने से गुनाह जल जाए.
Because it may be the case that by doing 100 years of worship, you may not get rid of that one sin that you committed. But by sitting in the company of such a man, in one moment, that you could get rid of that sin.
दीदार वालों के बाद बगैर और लोगों में भी नूर होता है, लेकिन वो नूर से वो होता है जब आदमी बैठता है ना, उसकी रग़बत नूर की तरफ हो जाती है.
Yes, God. There are other people that don't see God, and they just contain a little bit of light inside them. But by sitting in the company of those people who only have light, you are then drawn towards the light, meaning away from God, but just the light itself.
जिनमें ये होता है ना नूर, उनको मोमन बोलते हैं. जिसको अल्लाह देखता है उसको वली बोलते हैं.
Those people that only possess the light inside them, or a little bit of light, they are known as mu'min, meaning true believers. But those that have God inside them, or that look at God, that God looks at, they are called saints. There's a big difference between true believers and saints. You will only fully prosper and fully achieve God and progress by the saints, but not by true believers. But that you could be a true believer, I could be a true believer. There's a big difference between the true believer and the saint.
Are there some who are hidden saints?
कुछ मुर्शिद ऐसे हैं जो छुपे हुए हैं. Yes.
बहुत से मुर्शिद हैं जो उसको देख ही रहे हैं. तो घर वालों ने समझा कि मर ही गया, तो कब्र में दफना के आ गए, कब्र में उसको देख.
There are some spiritual guides who continuously look at God, and the relatives and people at home, they just think that that person has died, so they just bury them. Even after they buried them, they're still looking at God.
Shahi, can you direct a guide to us? How do I phrase that? Can you see if the spiritual guide that's working with a person is the right guide for them? Or
जैसे पूछे कि अगर फर्ज करें एक आदमी है, उसके साथ कोई रूहानी पेशवा लगे हुए हैं, तो उसको गाइड करें, तो आप क्या ये देख सकते हैं कि वो सही उसको गाइडेंस मिल रही है, गलत मिल रही है, यानी पहले से किसी कोई फॉलो कर रहा है किसी. Yes, I can tell whether the person, if a guide is attached to that person, whether that person is being rightly guided or wrongly guided.
बहुत लोग ऐसे होते हैं जिनके साथ शैतानी चीज़ें लग जाती, वो कोई एक चीज़ साथ शैतानी लगी ना, तो बाकी शैतानों से उनको महफूज रखती है.
Sometimes we see that there may be one person, and there are a couple of creatures, sort of spiritual creatures, but from representing evil, with that person. And sometimes we
नहीं
see.
पूरा समझना, जिस तरह ये औरत है, इसके साथ एक शैतानी मर्द लग गया,
जी सर.
वो सिर्फ अपने लिए, बाकी शैतानों से दूसरी चीज़ों से महफूज करता है इसको. अपने मकसद के लिए दूसरों से महफूज करता है.
खुद गर्जी. अच्छा समझ गया.
यानी खुद गर्जी इससे वो मोहब्बत करता है.
Shall I give the example of, for example, that you have a spiritual guide, or say a person, an evil person, in a similar way, an evil creature attached to one person, and then that one evil person or an evil spiritual guide or even a spiritual creature will sort of keep you to himself for his own purpose, and prevent other evil from exploiting you or giving you harm. because the maximum harm